What's good, YouTube? And welcome to WCQ Day 0, Info Day 1, and my birthday. So I'm going to try to keep it brief today while still filling you in. And first off, the hot tech at the WCQ from the points playoff is Angel of Blue Tears. Now, this is only a rare out of Maze of Memories, the older maze, so these quantities aren't exactly everywhere, but people weren't rushing for this card recently, although it's gone from pretty much bulk over the last 3 months, 9 cents, towards, a quarter. But yeah, people are saying this is going to be the hot card for the week, and people are going to go for this. There's still a whole WCQ weekend, but people might be scrambling for this in the room because it is a burn option for time rules as well as a set a trap from deck card. You can see absolute insane spending in reaction to the feature match, so let's go ahead and talk about it real quick. This card reads, target one face-up monster on the field, its controller's opponent takes damage equal to the number of cards in their hands times 200. So you could use this on your own card to burn the opponent, but most of the time you're probably taking that damage. Then negate the target's effects until the end of the turn. If effect damage is inflicted, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard to set one normal trap directly from your hand or deck. If set from the hand, it can be activated this turn. You can only use one Angel of Blue Tears effects per turn, and only once that turn. I have the ultimate rare from the OCG. It looks freaking nice, and I do feel like this card has been slept on for some time. However, again, some people were already on this in the Penny Stonk game. It was used on different dimension ground as well, which is basically being able to shifter your opponent. We do see a couple of recent sales on this, like STBL. Somebody went for a couple of copies, and STBL has its own history, and the super rare does look nice. You then have ultra options out of Battles of Legend, which I would go for first, and then dual Devastator if you are just rushing out to get your copy to work with it. I would not reactively do that, but I do think people, again, might be in the room scrambling to be able to play against Ubel and have that stuff. You can even see it's just come down over time and become more available, actually, as people weren't looking at the strat all that much. And then there's the Ultra out of Dude, which is why I would get the second, because of quality control in Dude and the issues there and the cards bending a little more etc. than Battles of Legend. Now let's go to Banlist review, because I've had comments, I'm tired of hearing about Fiendsmith. Okay, we'll put the day one stuff later, except you do realize yesterday it was 3 minutes on like the Fiendsmith card and talking about theory, and I ended up being right there, by the way. So many people were telling me, it won't end up being under $100. It won't be under triple digit, and today it's under triple digit already. Anyways, I digress. Let's talk about the Banlist stuff and get to that later. Kashtira Arise Heart is rising in prices. People look for any kind of hero that could enter the format through the August Banlist. It's in Master Duel. It's doing fine. They could bring it back. Yes, sure, you never know what Konami's going to do with a ban list, but yeah, you can see just consistently been going up in price, and we have a $105 sale today on the Starlight Rare, as people keep eating the Starlight. We covered when this initially started going up, but the triple digits and on is where it's at now, so people are really putting a lot of faith that they'll see this deck come back. I missed this earlier in the month. Zodiac Whiptail Ultimate Rares had a little bit of a buyout. You can see before they were selling around 20, 25, now into the 30s and towards 35 now. And you can see here it said it was around 18-ish all this time, but the sales were already starting to go higher than that. So I feel like some of these graphs on ancient cards in the game are a little bit broken right now on TCG Player, but do be aware that's been on buyout mode. We already talked about that. Grass looks greener in the copium there, but it continues to get that attention. $15, $16. I just absolutely can't see this card coming back personally. In fact, I think the OCG restricted it even harder, and so did Master Duel. Masterpiece, I feel like actually could come back at this point. As much of the hater as I am of this card, like, it's got those weaknesses in its armor. It's consistently going up slowly. The unlimbs are pretty much sold out and also going up, and then the first it's not as crazy as it's been during banlist seasons, like the 30s it's been at, but I could honestly see this going and coming off. But I will give that word of warning, just if you're going to rush out and get it using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. I feel like the moment it gets unbanned, people might rush for it, and then it might just go way down in price, because that's exactly what happened to a lot of cards recently that had that smoke and hype. Magic Spectre Unicorn, look at this. The bump up, oh my gosh, it's here. $5, crazy, get yours. Still hasn't had a reprint. This is the OG, not the mega pack. Under $1. Yeah. You know what else fell flat on its face? Something more iconic? Dragon Rulers, and you have new Mermail Atlantean support around. Oh, it could really work with that. Nothing but down for the most part, and a little bit of reaction to that stuff. Man, it comes off the list and it's down. That's kind of sad. Same thing for Blaster, though. Dragon Rulers, 12. Look, oh, we got Tidal back. Oh my gosh, we got Blaster Tidal. Everybody is here. $6 secret rares. That's actually under when it was banned, and it was like 8, 9. So do be aware. Even if the ban list does bring that real hype, sometimes it's just for a day or a week, and then it subsides at times. One thing that is interesting is the cards that you hedge your bets on. Dandelion has a lot of past format applications. Check out the actual graph, and it's just so up lately. 165 lowest, near mint. People buying light plays at 147 here, and you do see one sale actually went through. Spanish. Okay, got it. So a lot of them are around $160+ on those more recent sales, though. You can see the 3-month graph kind of caps off, even though it's been there for a while. It looks like it was around March when the last lower sales might have been, but even then the traction just doesn't seem to reflect properly in the TCG player graphs here. Again, ancient cards broken a little bit. So, the patting myself on the shoulder, I was right. Yesterday's top comment was, I don't see it going under triple digits. When I was saying I think there's a sliver of hope there, and I really think it might be 95. Well, we do see that there's also new support. So it went all the way down actually to 92 in the AM. Still under triple digits right now. Barely hanging on to that. But if you go through, you can see tons of sales that have happened throughout the day that are better than that, like 95s. That's still today, and the absolute madness of the sales rates and people feeding it today as well, and the bouncing up, down, all around what people are willing to pay is mostly in triple digits still, but tons of the sales are under. So it has managed to grace under there. Barely. My hope was more so towards originally 75 to 80, but after the FOMO to 150, I do think the sticking power might be well above 80 and into the 90s. We'll have to wait and see how the offseason plays. And the other curveball of the day is they got new support that's actually pretty decent, and there's a waifu for the deck because Konami knows how to sell things to the players. This also could be kind of looming that, hey, there's going to be other ways to play the deck in the future, another normal summon here, more links, etc. So I do feel like there's also that other curveball Konami could do of actually doing something about the deck instead of fully cashing in, but we're also talking Konami, and they love cashing in. So when it comes down to this, we'll have to wait and see how they do react. And there is that August ban list. They could be hitting things like Beatrice, but you're heavily speculating. Now, for the rest of the set, the Whitewood stuff has definitely come down in price. The Mulcharmy down under 30 is even lower than I expected. I expected week 1 hype to maybe try to cling to 40. It is already going out as people wait for the next one. Lucky for Ruxin, the Shield quarter century secret rare, people are letting it just go on down. He could make a whole collection. Also, the Millennium Ankh, I think, could get bought out at some point, but the gold sarcophagus that was super popular went to 60, got sales at 60, came back down towards 30. This is an Exodia deck card, which is a pet deck for a lot of people, and you could see some things go on with that, but right now, 30. I kind of expected day 1 to go higher because let's actually take a look at something we don't always do, best selling. And you can see the Fiendsmith is up here, and then a lot of them, but the Ankh Secret Rare actually makes the top 10 barely there. And the Silhouette Rabbit is also something I want to talk about here in a second. But Whitewood is definitely cheaper than I thought it might be, and that Dark Magician is getting the attention maybe as the more collectible and mainstay card, as Dark Magician's a bigger name than Exodia, let's face it. So White Woods came down in price towards 25 for a Stellar, and then LZ is around 10, but you can see the quantities aren't the highest, and people are going for that. It is a playable deck. And then you have the Silhouette Rabbit. I feel like might be a little underestimated. A lot of people, though, and myself included maybe, are going player brain with it and what you can do with it, and maybe that isn't as good of an application as it actually turns out to be, but a lot of people have been talking about this card, so I feel like it might get a little underestimated and should be more towards like a 12, 18, 20 card, but it is currently an under $10 card, which raised my eyebrow. A lot of people are also looking at the Tenpai Dragon in my Discord and calling it cheap. I mean, for how much value's in the set and the estimated value pull, and the fact that the sealed came back down more in price than I thought it would with how the sales were actually going for it, $8 is about where I think it should be, in my opinion. You gotta remember, the other Tenpai Dragon came down towards like $10 when it was going way harder. In fact, I think it's under 10 at this point. We can look it up right after this. But yeah, check this out. Well, actually, Box is rebounding a bit. Interesting. Earlier in the day, yeah, you can see right here, 70, 70, 70. Those are gone. All right, the price is bouncing back up. So estimated value pulled versus box price and going. Box price matters a lot because that chop up versus, well, if I sold this sealed or if I went and gambled, it's very different when you have almost $100 card in the set. And then it's also very different when there's other good pull value in here. But right now the magnetization is towards the quarter century secret rares and Engraver, but Engraver has that bonus value versus what we've experienced lately in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's still so much value in like White Woods, etc. to give back that estimating that versus how boxes are selling determines how vendors will end up selling the product at times. And a lot of people want that sealed. So that's been about, a lot of these cards are going to bounce all over today, this weekend, opening week. We go right into regional season. It's going to be a ride like I don't think anything we've seen for the most part. But yeah, the curveball again, new support. Blue Eyes stuff has been getting a lot of attention. The Kaiba set sold out ridiculously, and the quarter century secret rare Blue Eyes that I'd been kind of waiting for to maybe go and get is on full buyout mode, and you can see it had sunk down towards 160. I was like, yes, let it fall further. It's the bonus. No, full buyout mode, lowest listing 350. Yeah, I kind of have myself to blame on that one. Actually, I want to go back and look through the Kaiba set before we go towards the end here, though. Look at this, the buyout on the exclusive cards to it, too, is happening, and people are really trying to push those on top. Gotta go here to get these cards. Only one printing cards. Konami's liking to do that a lot lately, aren't they? Even this Grappler Vanilla here. And then, of course, Max Rarity LOB format with Battle Lock. Somebody brought up that Swords of Revealing Light version was also getting a small buyout, and that's interesting to me. I know I'm a little all over the place. Swords of Revealing Light. We've seen crazy buyouts in the past on Wall of Illusion to like $18, $20 for LOB format when past formats were getting gone into. So seeing a ultra rare Yugi's World buyout on this, not the most surprising in my book. This is a very nice looking version of the card, even though it's not max rarity. So yeah, and it does have applications in other past formats. My winning deck, smile. I feel like there was something I said that we could go look at from Infinite Forbidden that I forgot to go back and look at too. Ooh, the Tenpai Dragon, I believe. Tenpai in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, so yeah, this is officially under $10 at the moment, but barely. Alright, and then I also wanted to bring back up Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon Quarter Century Secret Rare. We covered when it started to go up. People have been commenting, oh my gosh, it's up even further. So there you go. If the buyouts continued, it's up even further towards $25 right now, and people are actually spending at the 20 range, but not quite the 25 yet. And then finally, I wanted to touch on sealed product seeming to do well. This has come back down a little, it looked like. The structured actual sealed one for the Sacred Beast, it's back towards 35, even though all those cards have been reprinted. Then you can see it got bought out at the 30 range. Maybe a little something to do with U-Bell, but I doubt it because you could just go get the single. So this one's a bit interesting to me to see people going for it. Maybe anime duels, maybe collectible. Sacred Beasts are very loved, but a lot of sealed product is over performing, I want to say, versus the last couple of years. So that's an interesting place for Yu-Gi-Oh! Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. Sorry to keep it a lot quicker than usual since my birthday's today and we're already at 15 minutes about, but I feel like this could have been a 20 to 30 minute conversation for WCQ, ban list hype stuff, and then also info day 1.